Hey, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got a fun video. We're talking about the CI-19, one of the best ARs in the game. Now, of course, I'm speaking on this gun for Warfare mode. You can still try out this build in Operations, but I don't play Operations, so I'm not aware of the ammo metas. I'm not aware of armor and things like that, so the guns kind of behave a lot differently. If you like using the CI-19 and if it's a viable weapon right now, you might want to try these builds out in Operations as well, all right? And it truly is one of the best all-around automatic weapons in the game because you can build it deadly in the close range, deadly in the mid range. Depending on how well you can control the bounce of the gun, you can build it deadly at long range. So just talk about it a little bit, and then we're going to get into the builds, and all the codes are going to be in the description, okay? So you guys can check those out. I got a couple different builds for you guys. Be sure to like and subscribe if you guys enjoy the content, help the community grow. It means a lot to me, and let's get going. What we're going to do is just look through the stats real quick. You want to do this every time you go to use a gun just to know how to use the gun. We can take a look at the stats here. They're pretty good. What stands out to me, when the gun's naked, meaning no attachments, really high performance with handling. So 60 is really good, has pretty good accuracy and stability off the rip, really high damage output, and a good rate of fire. That's what stands out to me here. What you really want to do to understand how to use the weapon, this is really important, is going into the details, looking at the damage right here. This part damage right here is telling you how to handle the weapon and where to aim. So with this gun, what this is telling us is 47 damage for one bullet in the head, 25 damage, one bullet in the thorax, 25 damage, one bullet in the pelvis, and then every part of the limb from shoulder to finger and from thigh to foot, you're hitting 22 damage. So essentially you get penalized for hitting anywhere aside from center mass and head. And to understand this fall off multiplier right here, what you want to do is within the range, and this is going to update as you build your gun and get more range on the weapon, but for now at its default state, it's telling you from 0 right here to about 30 meters, you're going to do 1.0 damage, meaning you multiply this value to any one of these to understand. But long story short, you just want to aim for the head and chest with the CI-19 to get the most potential out of the gun. All right, guys, starting off with build number 1. This is going to be number 1 in the description, and it's just a general AR build, how you would expect to use the AR. A bit slower handling in ADS time. It's at 311 millisecond, but you can really benefit from using this gun off of a head glitch, a peek. You're just gonna laser them. It feels really good at like that 30 to 60 meter range. You can really get some nice kills with it. It does have the 30 mag on there, so keep that in mind. You may be limited to 2 kills a mag or 3 if you have really good aim. If you want, you can throw on the extended mag. It's going to drop the handling down a bit and recoil control, but that's a decision that you guys can make, as well as switching out the muzzle. I prefer the spiral because it hides muzzle flash and it increases visibility when aiming down the sight. If you guys want to better understand this, video at the top of the screen right now goes over visual clutter in this game and how to minimize that. Spiral flash hider is one way. If you guys wanted to change some things on this build, what I would recommend changing would be muzzle, foregrip, and optic. Okay, everything else I would kind of try to keep as is. Okay, so this is kind of a all-arounder. Really good players can use it, new players can use it, so it's like a beginner-friendly build. It doesn't mean only beginners can use it, but it's just a great gun to learn ARs on. Okay guys, so here we are with build number 2, and a lot of you are probably going to look at this and be like, what in the Call of Duty gun build is this? And that's actually exactly what this is. I built my first CI-19 like this back in November of last year. I think that's when I uploaded this video, and this thing is just insane. It's inspired, if you guys remember the Grau from 2019 COD and Warzone and all of that, that's what this build is designed for. So it's really like a CQC weapon because no stock and grip allow for insane handling and movement. Like our handling's at 73, which means the ADS time, we're at 230 ADS time on a gun with 42 meters of range. That's pretty insane. If you're just a wild player and run around the map and try to get as many kills as you can, this build's really good because you can get those long range kills due to this insane range, but you can also just chow almost anyone with this gun. If you want to change a few things out, you can change the mag out. I would also recommend, if you don't like the prism, I think the prism feels really good on this, but maybe you want a little more stability due to the 47 being kind of low, you could throw on something like the folding grip, the RKO. I personally think the whisper on here is really good because it extends our range a little bit. It feels like hit scan almost for some reason. I know it's not. It's 682 meter a second, but it just feels so fast with the whisper on there. I don't know if that's a placebo thing I have going on, but I just really enjoy the whisper on this build. Of course, if you guys don't like it, switch it out. One of my favorite builds I've came up in the entirety of Delta Force being out. Okay, so this is going to be build number 2 for you guys. All right guys, next up, this is going to be for you long range LMG style players. This basically turns the gun into an LMG, so this build's pretty fun. We got the 3x on there with the canted 1x. If you want to toggle between long range and maybe you got to move up with your team to cap the point or whatever, you can get the red dot going. So it's a pretty fun gun, I'm not gonna lie, playing this thing at range. We got the 60 drum on there. If you guys don't want the drum, you could throw the 45 on there also, save a little bit of space, but I just view it as, if you're going for the long range build with the zoom optic, you might as well just throw the 60 mag on and really be able to just put out suppressing fire. And sometimes at the longer range too, since you're gonna be on that 70 meter, you're gonna be like in the 80 meter range, your bullet damage fall off is gonna be pretty high, so sometimes you're gonna need those extra rounds to get the kill, which is also why I'd recommend the 60 drum. Stock option, we're actually going with the 416 stable with max calibration. You could also, you know, some people really like the spec ops, but I just think something about the stable at long range, it really helps with stability and it hurts your handling quite a bit, but we're not trying to play CQB, so our handling, we could sacrifice it a bit. All right, another long range LMG style stock, this Cardinal is good. It really is just designed for firing stability. I prefer the stable stock because it's control and stability, both really important attributes for when you're going for a spraying style weapon. Another thing you could do on this build is use it prone, but if you do go prone, the bipod makes recoil insane. You can try this thing out if you want. I just am not really a prone player, but of course if you are, throw it on there. Another thing, the whisper, I have this on here again to just extend that range and muzzle velocity. If you feel like you don't need it, of course go with the spiral flash, the bastion. Since there is a zoom optic on here, I'd really recommend a flash hider because all the muzzle flash and stuff can get annoying when you're in the optic, but again, that's all personal preference. Another suppressor though that is viable, and maybe one of the only instances where this attachment is viable in the game. So when we look at the stats of the silent suppressor, we can see it gives us 4 range and 6 control. It's gonna hurt our handling quite a bit. It's gonna hurt our stability quite a bit. And another thing it hurts is your rate of fire. So it's gonna bump your rate of fire down. Now our rate of fire is at 579. So like if we hop in the range with the whisper on, which was how I have the build normally, let's see here, you'll get an idea. So this is the gun with the whisper. Now let's throw on the silent suppressor and listen to the rate of fire now. So it's completely different. And some may argue that the silent suppressor, due to the rate of fire decrease, it's a little bit easier to control. This is kind of, again, the personal preference thing I'm telling you about. You guys want to change some attachments out, go for it. There's a lot of ways to build for range in this game, but this is a good blueprint overall. So this is going to be build number 3. All right, guys. So last up, this thing's basically designed to rival the SR3M. So we're going to be doing similar damage, better range, and a little bit slower rate of fire. Now, if you want your rate of fire to be up, which you generally do for close range, so right now our rate of fire is at 706. So when we hop into the range without the gas block, you know, it's going to have that 700 rate of fire. And throw on the gas block, boom, you can see it changes it a little bit. So you may like this build better without the gas block, but it's essentially a hipfire build. We have our accuracy at 96. We have the 45 mag on there, just like an SMG would have an extended mag. A few things, I have the sword heavy grip on there just to help the stability a bit for aiming down the sight. If you guys want better handling, of course you could throw on this grip and get way better handling. Other things you can do with the foregrip, if you don't like the angled, you could throw on the competition hand stop right here to get better handling, stability, and accuracy. Easily gets the accuracy to 100. Tactical grip right here, another thing you can do, easily gets the accuracy to 100, but this angled hand stop is really good. One other thing you could do, again, you could throw on the whisper if you wanted a little bit more range and have a suppressor like a SMG traditionally does. Although it's not going to keep you off the mini map, it's still going to be you know, just satisfying to have a silencer on there. And as you can see, you can aim down the sight and get long range sprays with this thing still, yet in the close range hip fire, it's still really good. So this build you definitely don't want to sleep on. I'll have this in the description as the final build. And thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think about the CI-19 and have a good day.